Hello dear students of Standard 6. This is the fourth video I am going to make for the chapter that is Categories of Computers and Computer Languages. In this video I will conclude the chapter. If you have any queries regarding this chapter, you can write me on my email ID, that is dhn.sanjay@yahoo.com. So let us proceed with the chapter. So let us start with the first topic, that is fourth generation languages. Fourth generation languages consist of statements that are similar to statements in the human language. They are used mainly in database programming and scripting. Fourth generation languages are popularly known as 4GLs. These languages are especially designed to make cost-effective softwares and also to reduce the execution time of programs. They are mostly used in the field of database queries, data manipulation, analysis and report making. These languages can also be easily accessed by people who do not have formal training as programmers. They allow multiple common operations to be performed with a single command entered by a programmer. Today, SQL, that is also called Structured Query Language, is one of the most widely used language for commercial purpose. Some example of fourth generation languages are SQL, Metafont, PostScript, Wave, Gauss, Mathematica. Even other than this, we have Perl, Python, Ruby, MATLAB. MATLAB is also called Matrix Laboratory. So all these are the examples of fourth generation languages. Students, fourth generation languages are said to be graphical user interface focused. It means dragging and dropping elements and then generating codes based on the results are possible. Fourth generation languages are usually focused on the creation of databases, reports, websites, etc. Now let us talk about some advantages and disadvantages of fourth generation languages. Advantages: they increase the productivity of programming. Student, why it is said so? Because one line of fourth generation language code is equivalent to several lines of third generation language code. That means whatever the codings are written in fourth generation languages, that are much easier than it is written in third generation languages, let us say C++, Java, etc. They are easily accessible as compared to third generation languages. Users can often develop their own application using fourth generation languages because it is much more easier than the third generation languages, because coding are much less than third generation languages. It is faster also. The system development in fourth generation language is faster also. Program maintenance is easier than third generation languages. Programs developed in fourth generation languages are much more portable than those developed in other generation of languages. Now disadvantages: the programs developed in fourth generation languages need high processing speed of the CPU, because the fourth generation languages are executed at a slower speed by the CPU. That's why we need a high processing speed CPU. The program developed also require more space in the memory of the computer system. Students, now we will talk about fifth generation languages. Though it is not in your syllabus, neither it is in your book, but still we will just have a small look into it. Fifth generation languages. Now fifth generation languages or 5GL are programming languages that contains much more visual tools in comparison to fourth generation languages to help develop a program. Now some examples are given, that is Mercury, Prolog, OPS5. These are the examples of fifth generation languages. Now we will talk about the last topic of the chapter, that is translators. Students, as we know that we prefer the language to be spoken in front of us in which we are most proficient. If the language which is spoken in front of us, which we don't know, we need a translator to convert that language into our language. Same way, in a computer also we need translators. Dear students, as we know that whatever the programs, whatever the codes, whatever the data we put into the computer, that is mostly in English language. And whatever the programs we write, that programs are mostly in high level language. Earlier days, when first generation computers were used, second generation computers were used, those days also we were using assembly level language and other languages. Now, in those days also, whether it was assembly level language or high level language, it was converted into a certain language which was understood by the computer. Now, to convert our language into computer's language, we need a translator. So, in the forthcoming slide, we will see what are the different types of translators and how it is used. Translator and its types. Computers understand only machine level language, that is, the instructions coded in terms of ones and zeros. The assembly level and high level languages are provided to develop programming logic easily. However, these forms of languages are not directly understood by the computer. Hence, we need a translator language processor to convert assembly or high level languages into a machine level language. Dear students, as we know that assembly level languages are written in terms of mnemonics and high level languages are written in our language, in our standard language, that is in English. Now, to convert the mnemonics into a machine level language, we need a certain kind of translator. Same as to convert a high level language, that is the standard language which we use nowadays, to convert it into a machine level language, again we need a translator. Why we need a translator? Because as we know that computer understands only the machine level language, that is the binary language. So, how many types of translators are there? There are three types of translators. The first one is assembler, second one compiler, and third one interpreter. So, in the forthcoming slides, we will talk about all these three translators. Now, let us talk about the first translator, that is assembler. Assembler is a software which is used to convert a program written in an assembly level language into a machine level language. It helps a computer to perform its basic operations. Now, dear students, the code which is written in assembly level language is in terms of mnemonics. Now, when these mnemonic codes are sent to an assembler software, it converts our codes into machine level language which is understood by the computer processor. Now, the code which is written in assembly level language is also called as source code, and the converted code is also known as object code. The source program is an input of assembler that contains assembly level language instructions. The output generated by assembler is the object code or machine code understandable by the computer. Now let us talk about the second translator, that is compiler. Compiler is also a translator software that converts a program written in a high level language into a machine level language. It accepts the entire program at a time and then generates its equivalent machine code. Now here again, dear students, the source code is also known as high level language. Means the codes which are written in high level language is also called source code. Now when this high level language or the source code is sent to a compiler software, it converts our source code into a computer understandable code, that is object code. Now when the entire program is sent to a compiler, it converts the entire program at a time into a computer understandable code, that is machine level language or object code. Let us talk about the third translator, that is interpreter. Interpreter is a software that is also used to convert a program written in a high level language into its equivalent machine level language. It accepts instruction and generates machine codes line by line or statement by statement. At the time of execution, the control does not move to the next line unless the previous line or statement is error free. Dear students, the translation of each statement of source program is done by the interpreter into machine code, that is into machine level language, and executes it immediately before moving on to the next line. If there is an error in the line or the statement, the interpreter terminates its translating process at that statement or the line and displays an error message. The interpreter moves on to the next line for execution only after removal of the error. Difference between a compiler and an interpreter. Compiler converts the entire program into its machine code at once. Compiler displays the errors for the entire program only after compilation. Dear students, in a compiler, the source code is translated to object code successfully if it is free of errors. The compiler specifies the errors at the end of the compilation with the line numbers where there are any errors in the source code. The errors must be removed before compiler can successfully recompile the source code again. Now in interpreter, it converts the entire program into its machine code line by line, because the translation of single statement of source code into machine code is done by the interpreter language processor and executes it immediately before moving on to the next line. It displays the error of one line at a time during conversion to its machine code. In interpreter language processor, it terminates its translating process, students, at the statement and displays an error message if there is any error while writing the program. The interpreter moves on to the next line for execution only after removal of the error. Dear students, here are some full forms related to the chapter taught. Now kindly go through these full forms and learn by heart, as it is very important for your exams and in future also it will help you a lot. Students, here the fourth video and the chapter comes to an end. I hope all the 4 videos were helpful. If you have any queries, again I will say, dear students, you can write me on my email ID which is given at the bottom here on the screen. Again I will come back with a new chapter and a new topic. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.